So if we recap yesterday's session, yesterday we have seen the GL interface testing, nothing but we have used GL web service over there. Just we are drag and drop ERP cloud adapter. There we have selected, journal import web service and selected import journals and provided the respective mappings and tested the same. So once a GL web service is executed, nothing but the journal import is executed, you will get a response as a 0. So in a switch case, we will verifying if the response is 0, then we are submitting the main import journal. For the main import journals, for our testing purpose, just hard coded the values over there. But you need to, in the real time, you need to derive the values. Nothing but the ledger ID and ledger name, right? Ledger ID and data access set ID. That is, you need to get from one of the BIP report, or if any web service is there, you need to get a web service to pass your ledger name and get the values and map the same. And we have the group ID as well. How will you get a group ID? Anyone? How will you get group ID?
Flow ID.
Get flow ID. Get flow ID. What is the significance of get flow ID?
Unique number across
it will return a unique number. Mostly this get flow ID we will use in our DBCS integrations. The DBCS integrations, we need to maintain one of the unique value across the integration for each run. Okay. The way, and if you want to use any unique values across each run, you may use this get flow ID. So once submit import is successfully completed, it will return the response as a request ID, nothing but process ID. If the process ID will return the process ID, right? Then we need to verify whether that ESS job status is success or not. Nothing but it will submit your import journals from your scheduled process screen. Now we need to know whether the ESS job is success or not. So will you verify? Just create a variable which is import status and assign with a dummy value initial state, submit, and add in a while loop. And while loop, you need to add a condition like the import status which is not equal succeeded, not equal to warning, and not equal to error. Okay. And inside you need to add an ERP integration web service which is get ESS job status. So for that, it requests request ID. You need to map the request ID from submit import journals response request ID. And you need to once the get ESS job status is succeeded, it will return a response as ESS job status. For example, if the status is running, you will get a status as running and hold this running status into the same variable, which is import status, and it will verify with a while condition iteration. So the keep on iteration, it will verify. So it will run multiple iterations. To avoid multiple iterations, the view activity stream, simply can use the wait functionality in order to wait at least 10 seconds, 15 seconds like that, so that in a 4 or 5 iterations, you will get a status. So again, you can verify if the variable import status is succeeded, nothing but when the while terminates succeeded, you need to verify the variable status. If the variable status is succeeded, you need to send a notification. If it is failed, you need to get that log information by using download ESS job execution and try to write the data into your FTP location. Okay. And how will you pass the note? Will you create the notification here? And the notification.
Vijay, are you sharing any screen? Like
nothing, I'm not sharing.
Oh, okay.
Just I'm repeating yesterday's session. Okay. Just if you want to use notification email body parameters, first you need to create a notification parameters, and for that parameters you need to associate with the integration information. Okay, that is yesterday we have done. Now we'll try to use the same GL integration with an FBD approach. Yesterday we have seen the GL web service, right? Now we'll try to use the same FBD approach. Okay. We'll try to create a replica of integration here. This is our GP11 GL interface. Just try to click on the clone so that it will create a duplicate integration for us. this GL everyday process and just click on clone, edit the same. So this is here GL web service, right? Just try to edit the same. Instead of web service here, I'm trying to select everyday process. So earlier we have selected this here, the first option, so that you will get web services, REST APIs information, right? Now I'm trying to enable import bulk data into ERP cloud. Just click on the next. So here you can see all your import processes for a everyday process. So I'm trying to search with import journals. This is my import journals, and this is my UCM account. This is import job name and package name. Okay, just click on the next, and here these options not required. Enable callback, we'll see later. Just click on the next and the done. Just click on the update. Okay, now the mapper is removed here. The mapper is deleted from this request connection, since the earlier mapper is irrelevant for our everyday process. Now we need to select our respective mapper for this connection. So what you have to do, here there is a mapper section is available, just drag and drop. Now you can select this mapper is related for web service. So it will create a new request mapper for us against our connection. So this is import bulk data, and this is ICS file and file reference and the properties. Just validate it and close it. Okay, now up to this we done with the read data, right? Here read data. Now our data in our hand. It's time to map same as your everyday process. So what is our everyday process file here? When you click on the generate CSV, you will get a CSV file, right? This is my CSV file. When you click on generate CSV, you will get a CSV file like this. So what you need to do, you need to map the data. First, you need to create a GL interface.csv file, and you need to write the data from your flat file to this file, and you need to zip this file, and this zip file you need to provide for your request mapper. Up to this we have flat file data. Now we will write this flat file data into GL interface.csv file in this fashion, which is .csv. You can use same this file as a schema file. Okay. Now where is our file? DLGP GL interface. Now try to write the data, which is stage file. Write GL data. So what is the why we are zipping this file here? Nothing but when you submit load interface file for import from schedule process, what are the parameters we have for load interface file for import? Anyone? What is the parameters for load interface file for import? Anyone?
It's file name.
Program name.
Import process name and zip
And
file.
zip
Right?
file.
Yeah. So when you are selected here, when you select your GL everyday process in your integration through ERP adapter, already we are selected import process name, which is import journals. So there is no need to pass your first parameter, and it's pending with second parameter, which is zip file. Now we are trying to work on zip file. Try to zip the file and map that zip file to your request mapper, so that two parameters can be accommodated for your ERP cloud connection for your everyday process. And once it is executed, it will return a request ID, which is the process ID. And the same load interface file for import can be submitted through your schedule process. Getting? You are getting right why we are selecting import journals and why we are selecting, why we are writing the data into the file. So how you are writing the file for your zip file is nothing but this is same as your everyday format file. So how will you get everyday format file? Just download the everyday template and try to create the transaction through everyday template first. Once it is succeeded, and use the same format in your integration. Okay. Now write the file. My file name is jlinterface.csv. Just copy paste the same here. Do not type here. Since this file name should be same as your everyday file name. And specify the output directory, something /temp/gl, which is temporary directory. Just click on the next, and you can use CSV schema file, and you can select the same here. GPT FPDA. This is my CSV file. Something you can select record set and record set and mark all as optional, and anyone you can keep the mandatory. Just click on the next and then done. Column header 2 is required in the table. Mark. What is this? This is new.
The schema did not have headers and stuff.
Sorry.
The schema did not have headers.
Sorry, here we do not have heading, right? Sorry, your question is, I'm not getting.
Yeah, the schema did not have headers. Like this file did not have headers. You have
Schema
to
did not
check
have.
the header record.
Yeah, header. Yeah. That is we are missing. We'll try to generate the heading. So how will you generate a heading is nothing but open the everyday template and just keep more than one record. Delete it and try to generate CSV file. The CSV file is generated. This is my jinterface.zip. Sorry. So in order to get your, we need headings, right? Just copy the same heading and paste here. Okay. Save it and try to generate. Along with your data, it will generate the heading. The way you can get, any everyday process headings. My GL interface and try to edit with Notepad. Now you can have headings. This is my heading. Just keep in a first position. Headings. And remove these stars, replace with a null and double stars. That's it. Just save this. Now you can use as a CSV file as a schema file. Choose file. Now mark all as optional. Status code keep mandatory. Just click on the next and then now this is your request mapper and this is read data. Now you can map from node to node and element to element here so that your data will go right into your GL interface.csv. Once it is done, try to zip this file. Okay. Here, any doubts to generate headings within a FBD template? It's clear, right? Everyone. Just copy paste the same heading as a row, consider as a row, and try to get the headings. Once it is done, unzip the file, and you can keep this row as a first position and remove the star symbols with a replace with a null and try to use as the same CSV schema file. Okay. Now open the request mapper. So just will do testing purpose only. I'm not fulfill the complete whole mapping here. It will take more time. This is GL data rec and this is read data response. This is GL data rec to data rec. So that for each can be enabled, just click on XSLT so that for each can be enabled. Nothing but all the rows can write record by record. This is status code. So how the data is maintaining, nothing but same in this fashion, you need to map the data. Okay, same in this fashion, you need to map the data. So first I need status code. This is my status code. Always new. And if you see your CSV file here, at the last, you can see an end keyword, end. So we need to hardcode this as well. The last, this is my end. Just try to hardcode with an end. So this is a basic thing. Now you can map the respective columns. If you remove this, you won't get the result as expected if you do not map. Now effective date of transaction, something period, and journal entry creation date. So we need to make the date as in this format, right? Which is 2020-07/09. So make it the same. The location here. Oh, I say here every day. So here we need to change the date format. Now it's a hyphen. We can make it a slash. GLSPD. Okay, first we'll provide the mapping, then after we'll change the flat file. This is effective data transaction, and this is my journal entry creation date, and the journal source I'm trying to hard code, which is X or something we have right here. Something takes payables and allocations. Takes payables and journal category allocations. In the real time, mostly you will get a constant source only. If you get it from file, no issue. Directly you can map it. Currency code, which is USD. So most of the clients will try to provide the data in your CSV format itself, the same format. They will try to generate the data. Since it is pretty straightforward, right? They will try to generate the file from your everyday template itself, and they will provide you .csv file. Then what you will do? Simply you can provide the mappings from node to node and element to element. That's it. No need to hardcode, no need to do anything here, manipulations. Most of the clients will provide the radian straight away, which is .csv file. Then you can map node to node and map, file to node to node and element to element. Now this actual flag is A. This is segment 1, segment 2, and segment 3. What are the rest we have? We are done with segments, and we have only general here, debit amount, credit amount. Just you can map any one of the amount so that it will create automatically credit as well. Debit amount and credit amount. Enter credit amount. So this is my amounts and journal entry line description. This is journal entry reference 10. This is journal entry line description. Apart from we need period. This is past the period here, and you have the user defined function. Just you can change. Convert date. Just convert date, and you need the ledger name. Just hard code here. Get the ledger name from here. So ledger ID is not required for FBDI. So these mappings are enough for us for the testing purpose. Just to validate it. And we are done with a map node to node and element to element. From source to target. Just close it. So once your data in .csv file, which is a temporary location, you need to zip that file. Just use the stage file operation again, stage file action, and use a method which is zip file. Here you can select zip files and specify the file name. So what is our zip file name? So my zip file name is something GL interface followed by followed by here I am trying to get the current date time. Drag and drop current date time and followed by .zip. Zip file name followed by concat. This is my, I'm trying to generate a runtime zip file like this. Each file it will unique with a timestamp. GL interface icon, which is current date time followed by zip. This is my file name, zip file name, and which file you are trying to zip it. Specify the directory to zip. Nothing but already we have a location, right? Temporary location /temp/gl for your write file response. For that, you need to map here. From that file, I have GL interface.csv. That file I want to zip it. So you write GL data, CS file, load more, properties, load more, and this is directory. This directory content, I want to zip it. Now overall this zip file where you are trying to maintain your output directory. Nothing but this is our temporary directory. In this temporary directory, you can zip it. /temp/zip. This is my zip file name. This is my temporary file. In this temporary file, I am trying to zip the content of in this folder, which is my write GL data response. It's clear right here. the zip file. Just click on the next and then done. Now you have zip file here. Now we need a zip file request mapper here. Open your everyday process request mapper. So here again zip file response. This is zip response. So this is just you can map same to same here. You can find the same elements to left to right. Since it is a file related property. File reference to file reference. File reference is nothing but it's a physical file reference. This is. Now you can map the rest of the attributes. Directory to directory. File name to file name. And last modified to time, and this is creation time. This is size, and this is checksum. Just validate it. Now close the same. So now what it will do? So it will submit, once it is successfully executed, it will submit load interface file for import from schedule process with this zip file name. And the process name already we have selected while creating this connection, which is import journals. Now load interface file for import is submitted, and the rest of ESS jobs can be submitted automatically. Okay. Now we'll try to change the flag file. So our file name is something just to file one.csv, right? Open the same. You can use JavaScript function as well to change the format instead of here. So this is my FTP. So this is test1.csv. Already we have file right here. Delete the same and make it here. Okay. Now we have the file. So once this successfully executed, nothing once the load interface file for import submitted. So it will send a response. It will return a response which is process ID. It will return a response which is process ID. We need to add a switch case for that. Okay. Just add a switch case here. You can delete the same here. Okay, no issues. Here, this is GL's import bulk data response is not equal to 0. Nothing but you will get a request ID, which is not equal to 0. Now what you need to do here? You need to get the status of your load interface file for import here. Nothing but load interface file for import is one of the ESS job. You need to get the ESS job status. So how can I get this? Anyone? Anyone has any idea?
Get job status.
Sorry?
Call the web service and get ESS job status.
Use the same, ERP cloud adapter, which is ERP integration web service, and use the method get ESS job status. And you can pass the request ID from this response in a while loop, same as this process. Same as this process, you need to implement the same. So for that, create a variable. Variable UCM status. Submit. Okay. Now you need to add a while loop. Check UCM status. Here, variable UCM, which is not equal to succeeded. Not equal to error. Not equal to warning. When even status is made, it will successfully terminate from the while loop. Now use the ERP adapter here. This is my ERP connection. Job status. Just click on the next and use the same first one option. Select the services and get ERP integration web service. And here you can use get ESS job status. Click on the next and the done. And here you can pass this request as a request mapper here, GL web service. Nothing but your import bulk data response. Okay, now you need to hold the result into the same variable. Assign UCM status. Just click on the create a variable and use the same here. UCM status, and you can get it from get ESS job status response. This is my result. Get ESS job status response, which is result. Whether it is success or warning at error, it will return and it will keep on verify in the same iteration. Now you can add a wait functionality so that you can avoid n number of iterations here. Something 5 seconds. Wait. Now here, once it is done, okay, it will come out of from the loop. Here you need to verify the same here. If the result is, if the variable result, variable UCM result is succeeded. If the variable UCM result is succeeded, if the variable UCM state is succeeded, the rest of story would be same. Again, submit the main import and submit and verify the status and send an email notification. The same concept.
So in the first process before the UCM switch case, we are saying result not equal to 0 because the result is a process ID, right?
Result, yeah, here we will get a process ID.
Process ID. Okay.
If it is not equal to 0 or nothing, you will get a process ID, right?
Yes.
So it's coming to switch the route block and it will evaluate the while loop. Once it is done, I'm checking the variable UCM status. If it is succeeded, submitting the main import process. If it is failed, you need to send an email notification here with the log information. Just save the same. And if it is failed, okay, just add a call for our purpose. Load interface file for import fail. Let's assume. ERP connection. Download logs. Just click on the next and use the same and services. ERP integration. This is ERP integration service and select download ESA job execution details. Just click on the next and then done. So for this, I need a request ID. I need a request ID and the mapper. Already have the request ID from your. There it is. This is my import bulk data response request ID. The file type is always a constant keyword, which is all. So that it will download, it will try to get a complete zip file for us. Zip file. The response is nothing but we will get a zip file here as a response. Now what you will do, response will get a response, immediately you need to send a notification here. This is failure notification. UCM fail notification. Now here, from no reply at oracle.com. UCM failure notification. Something. And here the body, as of now, just we need some data test it and attachments. I need to send an email notification attachment with that zip file, whichever you have downloaded. Just click on the attachment here. This is download logs. Download the logs, download ESA job, execution details response. And here I have content, file name, content type, and the document ID. Here just drag and drop the content, I guess. We'll give the content only. Okay. Let's see. Once it is done, we'll try to test it from SoapUI. So the way you can add this, just close this, try to test it. We have the file. Okay. connect to the application, verify whether it is submitted or not, load interface file for import. And we are not mapped group ID, right? We did not remember group ID. It's not mandatory. If when a single user can work the same, we can use this. You can skip the group ID. If multiple users can work, or we need the group ID. This is load interface file for import is submitted and the request ID so on so. The transfer file is succeeded. Now the data will insert into the GL interface table. Load file to interface also successfully completed. So there is no issue with your GL interface. Now just copy this request ID. Now it will try to submit the import journals. If you see, now submitted import journals. If any issue with the parameters, it won't submit the child. So there is an issue with parameters for the child. Now try to copy this, test that. Download ESS job execution details. Here download export output or here I'm getting as a content. Okay, you are getting as a content, right? So we are mapped this content, which is .zip file. You will get an attachment here. Okay, the same way you will get one more ESS job would be available. This is KTSS job execution and download. What does it? This is we have used right in our integration. So here also you can, the both would be same here. This is my document name and this is my content. So we are added this content into our attachment. So this will go as a content. You will get this file as an email notification in the failure case. So this is all about everyday process. Any everyday process you can work on like this. So as of now, in this everyday process, we have added the while loop concept, right? So I don't want to go for the while loop concept. Okay. Whenever load interface file for import is successfully submitted, it will return a callback integration. That is, we call as a callback facility. So automatically the main import process will be submitted whenever load interface file for import completed, and based on the event, it will submit our callback integration. The moment these while loop concept and this main import process which is not required. Okay, now we'll try to clone this integration. That is, we call it a callback integration. Did you remember while configuration our ERP import journals connection, there is enable callback checkbox is there. Just clone. property file here. Any chance? Okay. So delete this route. And delete this route as well. Just reset it. So that's it, your integration. This is your integration, which is to process the GL everyday process, edit the connection. It's got struct. You can open one more session.
Vijay, one question though, like,
Yeah.
does Oracle provide any standard these integrations? Because if we look at this web
Standard,
areas,
yeah, you have the recipes, standard recipes. When you create
okay.
instance, you will get in a standard recipes, sample integrations.
Oh, okay.
Those are very high level, yeah, very complex.
Oh, because for FBDI, I think mapping and all will be like constant everywhere, right? So at least they
That
could
is
provide that.
depends on your flat file, the mappings.
Okay.
So this is our connection. Just try to edit the same. It is not working. So here there is option enable callback. Just enable it. That's it. Here the bulk import has been simplified and now it's based on events, ERP bulk data event. On completion of the job, nothing but on completion of the ESA job, an event is raised by ERP cloud rather than invoking callback integration. As an integration developer, please handle the event through trigger configuration of ERP cloud adapter. Okay, just enable the callback. Just click on the next and the done. Just update it. Now, once this is successfully submitted, nothing but your load interface file import will be submitted, right? Once it is executed. So once the load interface file for import is completed, it's time to submit the main import. So how the main import will be submitted is nothing but we need to write a property file here. We call as a property file. In that property file, we need to mention all your main import process parameter values. Parameter values. Okay. Now here, GL process. The property file. Okay, my property file. This is my property file. Okay. This is my job main import process job name, and this is job path and job name, followed by your rest of parameters here. Source, group ID, and ledger, which is ledger or data access set. This is group ID and rest of parameters, whichever you want. Whichever parameters are there, the same parameters we need to mention, which is a comma separated here. So what are the parameters we have here? ERP integration and submit as a job request. This is job package name, and parameter list, which is data access set. Data access set followed by source, followed by ledger, followed by group ID, followed by 3 ends. A property file, try to save it with a dot properties. GL main import properties. You can save this file with dot properties. Where we have saved GL TL. So this is my properties file. Here I'm future purpose. Okay. Now so what our requirement now, we need to write the data in this fashion in this properties file. You need to write the data in this properties file like this. So what you have to do to write the data? First, you need to create a schema file with this. Copy this and here properties.csv. This is my CSV file. Okay. My CSV file, GL properties.csv file. So here, create a new row, job path, job name, and data access, and source, and ledger ID, and ID, and something. Parameter 1 and 2, the last 3 parameters. So this is my schema file. Write the data in this fashion. I need to write the data into dot properties file, your integration. Okay. So here, before zipping the file, just try to write the data. Write properties. Click on the next. Write file. So in which file you are trying to write the data? Something GL import dot properties. I'm trying to write the data into one of the properties file, into one of the temporary directory. So what is the temporary directory? This temporary directory, same as your write GL file, whichever you are trying to write the data into everyday template, right? .csv file, GL interface.csv file. This should be same as your temporary folder. Nothing but in a single temporary folder, I have 2 files now. One is .csv file, which is GL interface. One is .properties file. This is CSV. Click on the next, choose file, and my properties file. and mark all as optional. Job path is mandatory. Click on the next or done. If you keep all mandatory also no issue since we need all the mappings, right? This is property file. Here we use /temp/gl. Here also we use /temp/gl, which is common folder for these two files. So in a single folder, I'm trying to place two files. One is .csv file, which is GL interface, and one is .properties file. Now we can map the data here. So this is our data. This is properties red set and properties. This is job path. And character one. Okay, the rest of we can map. Journal import launcher. And data access set ID. And this is source. And this is ledger ID. And this is group ID. Just wait. Now, whenever you zip this file, in this zip folder, you have these two files. When the load interface file for import submitted, at the ESA job level, you can see two attachments. Okay, that is we'll see tomorrow, the rest of. Once we're done with this integration, you will clearly understand what is the callback integration. But as of now, we do not have admin access for this instance access. So it's not possible to invoke callback integration. The testing should be failed, but I will show the complete process, how we can implement the same. Okay. Okay, that's it for today.
Vijay, could you please show that